Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix both of those things together. And the content that I'm going to show you is the inevitable. It was like a rain cloud on the horizon. We knew it was coming. Chris Murphy has made his way over to MSNBC to lecture us on gun rights and gun control and how we're just bad people. Also mixing in a whole lot of lies, a whole lot of manipulation, a little bit of propaganda, and completely flies in the face of facts. But don't worry, we are going to correct the system right now because facts are coming at Mach 3. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Can't wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on because this freedom train needs as many passengers because we are going straight towards Freedom Station. All right, people, listen. You guys know how I love me some Chris Murphy. You know, this guy right here, the gun control chief, captain, leader in the Senate. Yeah, he's about to spew a whole lot of propaganda. But before I show you that propaganda and we correct the system for, just the right side of things' sake, I'm going to show you a quick word from USCCA that made this content possible. There's something you need to see. There's a lot of free stuff that you need to take advantage of. Check it out. Investing in your own safety and confidence is always a smart move. So if you're a protector, parent, or concerned citizen looking to level up your skills for what our crazy world might bring next, check this out. USCCA is giving you free resources and training to support your 2A. They just launched a new site where you can easily sign up for over 1,600 courses happening in person nationwide. And get this, they're all 100% free through the end of the year. This is hands down the best way to gain real world self-defense knowledge from experienced instructors right in your own community. In fact, from creating a solid home protection plan to understanding the ins and outs of use of force laws, these expert-led classes will give you the tools and confidence to stay safe in any situation. Pop over to the link in the description and find a course near you and take advantage of this incredible chance to train with the best of the best. Trust me, this is the real deal, so don't wait. Head to uscca.com/class now and sign up for a free course. As you can see, they are available for you right now and are showing you local options as well. All right, let's get into Chris Murphy. This guy, you guys know how I love me some Chris Murphy. And by love, I mean despise. All right, so let's get into this. Let's read his comment first, and then we're going to really break this down. Yesterday's school shooting was devastating, but remember, because we organized and acted, we passed legislation in 2022 making major changes to American gun laws. Oh, we're going to hit that, because remember when Chris Murphy passed it, he said that it was just meager and it was a baby step and nothing really would happen, but it was a good starting point. Remember that. But anyway, we'll get to that. And this year, mass shootings have dropped by a whopping 20% from last year. That's a big deal and a reason for hope. You know what else happened? Yeah, we sold more guns than ever. Because if the whole narrative is more guns equals more mass shootings, how is it possible we had a drop of 20% but we sold more guns? I'll wait. You guys can let me know in the comments field. But let's get to Chris and let's hear what happened in the wake of this shooting in Wisconsin and how he really did a great job. Check this out.
Thanks for being with us. We noted earlier that the shooting yesterday in Madison took place 12 years after the Sandy Hook shooting. That terrible, terrible anniversary was on Saturday. Your thoughts here, the facts, the details change a bit. It's a young woman in this case. It's a handgun in this case, not an AR-style rifle. But
by the way, I just got to point it out. Did you notice the kind of like low demeanor there? Like, oh, it's a handgun this time. Yeah, and it was a woman. Just saying, guys, there's a big discrepancy for when it's the preferred weapon they like to attack. It starts with an A and ends with a Romeo. They get a lot more animated, but when it's a female outside the narrative, and then when it's a handgun, which is outside the narrative, and then you look at the juvenile access to this, how no gun control on the books would have anything to do with it. They're not talking about what gun control could have been applied. They're now talking about what they've done in the past for hope. See how that important shift happens? Guys, we follow these people. We study these people. This is what they're doing. Check this out.
If you look at the facts that we have right now, what more could be done here and can be done more broadly to stop these awful days?
Yeah, obviously, this is an awful time of year in Connecticut. Those families in Newtown are reliving that horror as we speak. Those empty seats at the holiday table are just devastating. And when I think about these school shootings, I think much more broadly than the number of people who are shot or killed. The reality is that our kids who are exposed to this violence, the kids who fear for their life when they walk to school in dangerous neighborhoods like the one that that I live close to in Hartford, Connecticut, the kids who have gone through an active shooter incident like this one in Wisconsin, their lives are changed forever. I mean, we're losing a generation of kids because literally your brain chemistry changes when you are exposed to that level of violence, or when you live in a dangerous neighborhood and you're exposed to it every single day. It's not a coincidence that the underperforming schools in this country tend to be in the violent neighborhoods. So we've got to
just you know where those violent neighborhoods are? Yeah, they're in Democrat-run cities where there's no accountability and there's a whole lot of issues. So now what Chris is going down the road on is, again, notice how he's not talking about gun control. He's talking about the emotional impact on the children in their brain chemistry, which again is terrible. I think we should harden all the schools, something that this guy killed a negotiation on in the floor of the Senate. I've got the videos I can show you anytime you want. That's what this guy has done. And now he's sitting here saying that the big solution is something that he proposes of more gun control, because hardening and protecting the children, that's not the move. The move is definitely his preferred move of taking guns and gun infringement, because we can't talk about anything else. His way or the highway, while he stands on his moral high ground and he lectures to you. All right, let's keep going.
Understand that the scope of damage that we are doing to our kids is absolutely enormous. That being said, there is some reason for hope at the end of this year. We're not going to rest until there's not a single school shooting in this country. But mass shootings this year in America are down by over 20%. Urban homicides are down by over 20%. Those are absolutely extraordinary declines. And
okay, hold on, because he's gonna claim responsibility for that in a second with his gun control. We're gonna annihilate that too. But how is it possible, guys, and you guys can tell me in the comments, how can we have 20% reduction from last year and 30% reduction in urban areas? Because again, the urban areas weren't the problem, but now they are the problem, but they've been reduced. Since they were the problem, but now they're reduced, it's okay, now we can take credit for it. But when they weren't reduced, we ignored them. Okay, so now that we've established that, how is this possible? If guns are the problem, then I go over to this one right here. Firearm background checks at record levels, and that's only from 2021. Those numbers are still accelerating. I can tell you personally because I study this stuff all the time. Those numbers are still going upward and crime is going downward. By simple deduction of a graph, you would say that they are factually incorrect. But it's not about facts. It's about the emotional pull that Chris Murphy likes to play. Let's continue and show you how the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, of what he's talking about, where the rhinos and Republicans actually gave him this victory, how he's claiming that does it. And then I'll show you what that bill does, and you tell me if it makes sense.
That is in part due to the fact that we passed in 2022 the most significant anti-gun violence bill in 30 years. And you're starting to see the impact of that bill. So what we've shown is that when we get serious about changing the laws of this country, just make it a little bit harder, let's say for kids in crisis to get their hands on a powerful weapon, that we can have an impact. And we just have to, go back next year at the state level and at the federal level and try to double down on the progress that we made in 2022.
All right, I'm going to wrap that part, and then I'm going to show you the next piece because this is the really good segue point. Do you guys remember when I have said on this channel multiple times since the election in November, where I have said they are going to reunify, they are going to realign, and they are going to go hard? I'm telling you guys, Chris Murphy just said it. We're going to realign and double down on our efforts at the state and the federal level. They may have lost power at the federal. They're going to double down, triple down in the states of which they control. This is going to happen. He literally just said it's going to happen. We're going to be sitting here fighting it the whole time, but they're coming. All right, now let me show you this little piece of information that he put out right around the time that the Safer Communities Act passed. Let me just show you the intro, then I'll show you the bullet points, okay?
Hey, this is Chris Murphy, U.S. Senator from Connecticut. And I want to talk to you about the groundbreaking Bipartisan Safer Communities Act.
Groundbreaking. Cue the music. All right, how's it going to save lives? I'm not going to make you suffer through this whole video. First of all, let me go to the first little point right here. So, boosting red flag laws. That was a slush fund that was put together to basically fund states and bribe them into doing red flag laws and then strengthen other states that had red flag laws. How would that have done any of the stuff that we're talking about? We haven't seen an explosion in red flag laws. Oh, well, sounds like that didn't work. Okay, so that wasn't it. Let's keep on going. Closing the boyfriend loophole. That's one of his little wet dreams that he always talks about. How did that? No? Okay, that one didn't do it. That's not that life-changing detail that he's talking about. Let's go to the next one. Federal criminalization of gun trafficking. Yeah, gun trafficking has been illegal the entire time Biden's been in the administration, and the ATF has literally been tracking gun trafficking for decades at this point. So nothing new there. Let's keep going to the next one. This one was one that really irked me. Restrictions for buyers under 21. What that did, and thank you to the Republicans, specifically the Rhinos, Tom Tillis and John Cornyn and Joni Ernst. Restrictions for buyers under 21. What that means is the ATF can do a blanket mandatory 10-day waiting period for anyone under the age of 21 to buy a constitutional right. That's what it is. So, okay, that wouldn't really change 20 and 30% because it wasn't a bevy of 18, 19, and 20-year-olds doing this. And then the mental health, putting $15 billion into mental health and school and community safety. Tell me how that gun control worked with what he just said. It reduced 20% and 30% numbers, all the while this right here is happening. Okay, let me break it down for you. This guy right here is full of it. They are trying to utilize the tragedy that just happened in Wisconsin yesterday in order to say, yeah, all of our gun control laws wouldn't have done anything for this, but we have made significant progress. And in fact, the numbers are down, even though what we didn't do anything, but at least we did something. And there, I see, look, even though the guns equal more crime, but there's more guns, but there's less crime. This doesn't make sense. But it's because we signed the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which, by the way, doesn't do any of the things that we're talking about doing, but it did do something. Guys, this is why we fight every single day. The propaganda, the lies, and the manipulation. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.